So, um, quite frankly, I don't really care about articles. I really don't. I don't care about stories. I don't care about podcasts and all that type of shit. It don't bother me. I'm 41 years old and I watch golf every day. I don't care about an article. I don't care how somebody feel about me. If you know me personally and you know what I'm about, these guys know what I'm about, and that's all that matters. I don't care less how somebody feel about me.
I don't pay much attention to articles, podcasts, or online opinions. At this stage of my life, none of that really matters to me. What matters is basketball itself. The people who know me understand where I stand, and that's enough. Today, I want to talk about Steph Curry and the growing conversation around his legacy, especially in comparison to LeBron James. Recently, Steph Curry released a trailer for his upcoming animated movie titled GOAT. After watching the trailer, it's clear that this project is very different in tone and message compared to Space Jam 2. The GOAT trailer focuses on an underdog story, determination, persistence, and finding a way to succeed despite physical disadvantages. The movie centers on a young, undersized GOAT trying to survive in a fast-paced sports league filled with larger, stronger competitors. The message is straightforward. Success doesn't always come from size or power, but from effort, creativity, and belief. This theme closely mirrors Steph Curry's own NBA journey, where he entered the league underestimated and reshaped the game through skill and shooting rather than physical dominance. Another noticeable aspect of this movie is that Steph Curry chose to create something original rather than revisiting an existing franchise. Instead of following the Space Jam model, he went in a different direction. That originality reflects the way Curry has handled his basketball career, choosing a different path rather than copying what came before. According to an interview with USA Today, Curry describes GOAT as a family-oriented film designed to inspire multiple generations. He emphasizes themes of togetherness, motivation, and personal growth, values that resonate beyond basketball. The film is intended to be uplifting and relatable, allowing viewers to see parts of themselves in the characters. Looking at Curry's career as a whole, it's fair to say that he has taken a unique and consistent approach. He has spent his entire career with the Golden State Warriors, winning 4 championships and playing a major role in 3 finals victories against LeBron James-led teams. His loyalty to one franchise and willingness to compete through both successful and difficult seasons highlight a different competitive mindset. Rather than changing teams late in his career to chase championships, Curry has stayed committed to his organization. That consistency, along with his impact on how basketball is played, is a major reason why his legacy continues to grow. In the end, GOAT appears to be more than just an animated sports movie. It reflects Steph Curry's career philosophy, embracing the underdog role, choosing originality, and staying committed to one path. Let me know what you think. Have you seen the trailer for GOAT? Does it appeal to you as a family movie? And how do you view Steph Curry's legacy compared to others in NBA history?
Beyond championships and loyalty, Steph Curry's influence can also be measured by how deeply he has changed the game itself. Modern basketball is fundamentally different because of him. Long-range shooting, spacing, off-ball movement, and guard-led offenses are now central strategies across the league. Teams at every level, from youth basketball to the NBA, structure their offenses with the assumption that shooting from well beyond the three-point line is not only acceptable, but necessary. This level of influence is rare. Many great players dominate within an era, but very few reshape how the sport is played long after they retire. Curry's impact is visible every night across the league, regardless of whether he is on the floor. Players who will never approach his level still play in systems that exist because of him. That influence also connects directly to the themes presented in the GOAT movie. The idea of a smaller, underestimated character succeeding through intelligence, adaptability, and precision mirrors Curry's real-world impact. He didn't overpower defenders. He didn't rely on size or strength. He relied on skill development, repetition, confidence, and creativity. Those traits translate well into a family-oriented story because they apply far beyond basketball. Another important aspect of Curry's career is how he has handled success. Despite redefining the game and becoming one of the most recognizable athletes in the world, his public persona has remained relatively consistent. He avoids controversy, rarely engages in public disputes, and allows his performance to speak for itself. That approach has helped shape his image as a player who prioritizes the game and his team over personal narratives. This matters when discussing legacy, because legacy is not only about statistics or accolades, it is also about how a player is remembered culturally. Curry is often associated with joy, freedom of movement, and unselfish basketball. His teams are remembered for ball movement, trust, and chemistry, rather than dominance built purely on individual force. Comparatively, debates around greatness often focus on longevity, scoring totals, or physical dominance. While those factors are valid, they are not the only ways to evaluate a career. Curry's case rests heavily on transformation, efficiency, and influence. He did not just accumulate achievements, he changed expectations. The GOAT movie, intentionally or not, reinforces that narrative. It does not center around dominance. It centers around adaptation. The main character's challenge is not to overpower others, but to find his place in an environment that was not designed for him. That is a more nuanced message than simply winning, and it aligns well with Curry's real-life career arc. It's also worth noting that Curry's involvement as a co-producer suggests a level of intention behind the project. This is not just a marketing appearance or a cameo. It reflects a desire to participate in storytelling that aligns with his values. For athletes transitioning into media and entertainment, that distinction matters. Originality carries more long-term weight than repetition. From a broader perspective, the comparison between GOAT and Space Jam 2 highlights a shift in how athlete-led media projects are received. Audiences are increasingly drawn to authenticity rather than spectacle alone. Flash and visual effects can attract attention, but lasting impact usually comes from stories with emotional grounding. GOAT appears to aim for that space. As Curry continues toward the later stages of his career, discussions about his place in basketball history will naturally intensify. Some will focus on totals and milestones, while others will emphasize championships and finals performances. Still, a growing segment will point to something harder to quantify: how the game looks different because he existed. That argument becomes even stronger when considering how Curry has remained effective despite changes in the league. Defensive schemes have evolved specifically to limit his shooting. Yet, even with constant pressure, double teams, and defensive attention far beyond the norm, he continues to produce at an elite level. That adaptability reinforces the idea that his success was never dependent on a single system or era. Loyalty also continues to be a defining feature of his story. Remaining with one franchise through peaks and declines requires patience and trust. It also requires accepting responsibility when things are not going well. Curry has done that without public complaints or trade demands, which further reinforces the competitive mindset often associated with his career. In discussions of greatness, competition is not only about winning titles, but also about how a player responds to adversity. Curry's willingness to stay, rebuild, and continue competing rather than seeking easier paths adds another layer to his legacy. It shows confidence in his ability to impact outcomes regardless of circumstances. Ultimately, GOAT serves as a symbolic extension of that philosophy. It is a story about finding success without changing who you are. That message resonates with audiences beyond sports because it applies to personal growth, career challenges, and self-belief. As the film approaches release, reactions will vary. Some will view it simply as entertainment. Others will connect it directly to Curry's career and values. Either way, it contributes another chapter to the broader narrative surrounding his legacy. When evaluating players historically, moments matter, but so do patterns. Steph Curry's career displays a consistent pattern of originality, influence, loyalty, and adaptivity. Whether or not one places him at the very top of all-time rankings, those traits are undeniable. The ongoing comparisons will continue, as they always do in sports. But what remains clear is that Curry's story stands on its own. Much like the character in GOAT, he did not need to be the biggest or strongest to leave the deepest mark. He simply needed to be himself and to commit fully to that identity. That, more than any statistic or ranking, may be the most lasting part of his legacy.